The phrase "so bad it's good" has been thrown around a lot when talking about movies in recent years. People tried to say it about Morbius, but I don't really agree with that, considering Matt Smith was the only enjoyable part of it. Miami Connection is a perfect example of why this phrase exists, but that movie is actually just really good in general. So I thought I'd rewatch and cover two of my favourite movies that people have given this title, as well as one I personally believe fits the criteria. I'm not going to talk about The Room, even though it's one of my favourite movies, because every one of these videos mentions it at some point, and I'm sure you're sick of hearing about it. So let's get started with Mike Myers' Cat in a Hat.
I'm sorry, baby, I love you.
This movie is honestly iconic to people of my generation, and it's not really hard to see why. The original book is about Sally and Conrad stuck inside on a rainy day with nothing to do. The cat and the thing show up and create all kinds of chaos in their house, and just before their mother comes home, their cat uses a machine to clean everything up. Nice and wholesome. But the movie is just so fucking different, it's honestly insane. The cat randomly shows up and sings a musical number, does an infomercial, cuts off his tail, the dog runs away after Thing 1 and Thing 2 destroy the house, so they have to drive into town to save him using the super hydraulic instantaneous transporter, then get back home to fix the mother of all messes before their mum gets home. That is such a contrast that it's honestly insane, right? I still quote it today whenever someone mentions a babysitter.
You pay this woman to sit on babies? That's disgusting! I do it for nothing.
And whenever someone says a piece of clothing has been ruined, no matter how hard I try, honey, it was ruined when she bought it, always manages to slip its way out of my mouth. And I feel the need to mention that one of my first ever tics was literally screaming "you're fired" because my Tourette's thought that was the funniest thing in the world for some reason. Mike Myers is fucking amazing in this movie, and the fact that he decided to deliver this batshit insane performance because he was bitter about having no choice but to star in this makes it so much better in my opinion. I love when actors know they're in the middle of a dumpster fire and just decide to ham it the fuck up so some people can actually enjoy watching it. Some of the humor is honestly really good, which probably says something about me, even though I'm not entirely sure what it is.
I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident.
It's obvious that the writers were aware that kids would make their parents watch this movie over and over, because kids do that for some reason, so they decided to make it actually enjoyable for the parents as well. The musical number literally starts with the cat in drag singing about another cat getting desexed. I remember when I was watching this for the first time with my dad, and he was laughing his head off when this happened, so clearly it worked. I never thought in my entire life that I would relate to a badly animated talking fish, but I guess the world has a way of surprising you sometimes.
I don't know this world! It's dry! It's like I can't! It's too much!
God bless Sean Hayes for putting his absolute heart into these two characters, because he makes this movie so much more watchable. Sally and Conrad are honestly unique in a way because they're kids in a kids movie that aren't annoying and obnoxious. Sally's character arc is about learning to be less bossy and have fun, which honestly was kind of heartwarming towards the end, which he tells Conrad he's a good brother. Conrad's arc, on the other hand, is about learning to know when having fun goes too far. And it just feels so rushed that it really didn't feel like a satisfying payoff when he scolds Kat for going too far. Yes, I am analysing a kid's movie, shut up. He really should have snapped the moment a giant talking cat showed up in his house out of nowhere, but like I just said, this is a kid's movie, so I'll let that one slide. Alec Baldwin is also having an absolute blast as his sleazebag of a character, Lawrence. I remember my first exposure to him was in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, so you can imagine how traumatized I was seeing Mr. Conductor doing this. Also, I have to point out that we got yet another movie starring Mike Myers that features a song from Smash Mouth only 2 years after Shrek, so I guess that must have been part of Mike's contract in the 2000s, and I love that for him. The fact that this is the sole reason we're never getting another live-action Dr. Seuss movie makes me love it even more, because those stories belong in animation in my opinion. Also because Hollywood is never going to top Jim Carrey's performance as the Grinch. I don't have a lot of hope for the new movie starring Bill Hader as the cat, but I am praying it ends up at least half as chaotic as this one. And now let's move on to my favourite movie in this list.
Do you think there might have been a chance? He liked My Chemical Romance.
This one is unheard of for a lot of people, so I will have to explain the plot with my thoughts on it in between. Safe to say this will probably be the longest part of the list. It's about an emo named Ethan who joins a band at his new school after getting expelled from his last one for pretending to hang himself in the schoolyard, because he thought that putting your head into a noose was just something emo people do when they're sad. As a former emo, I can pretty much confirm that he's right. It's either that or telling people why your cat's an angry bitch when you don't even have a cat. He starts a secret relationship with an overly religious girl named Trinity who tries to baptize him to save his soul. It sounds fucking insane because it is fucking insane, but at the same time, I kinda love the writers for doing that. It's one of the best ongoing jokes in the movie for me. The band joins a rock competition so they can meet the lead singer Bradley's idol Doug Skeleton, who's known for being edgy as fuck but ends up being a fake emo anyway. Gee, I wonder who that's a parody of. The religious group ends up joining the competition as well, leading to a hilarious parody of white gospel songs that show how fucking morbid they really can be sometimes. I don't care how happy you make it sound. Singing about Cain killing Abel does not make me want to go to church with you. May as well sing about Lot's children while you're at it, because that's just as appealing. There's a way too realistic commentary about how the Australian school system stigmatises depression while also advocating for mental health awareness.
Stop crying or you'll be expelled.
The emos burned down the chapel to try and stop the religious group from performing in the competition, which I feel like I have to mention because it leads to the best joke in the entire movie.
Isaac tested the chapel for fingerprints and DNA.
He doesn't even believe in DNA!
It's just so fucking good, man. One of the religious kids is gay, and there's a whole subplot about him using shock therapy every time he has a gay thought. His partner has a song about how much he loves him, and they're some of the only people in this movie who aren't complete assholes most of the time, so I honestly love them. Isaac finds out about this and straight up sends him to conversion therapy, which just proves that this piece of shit actually is pure fucking evil. But don't worry, his partner also joins conversion therapy so he can help him break out, which I would honestly love to see in a sequel someday. Any day now. Please. Ethan and Trinity are pretty basic main characters, so there's not really a lot of substance to them, to be honest. Ethan is your carbon copy of what people think an emo is, based purely on the music. He does whatever he thinks will make people like him and only stops doing that so he can get Trinity, because that's great character development, isn't it? Trinity kind of wins me over towards the end because she learns how to stop being so pushy about her religious beliefs and actually calls Ethan out for being a poser. Isaac is an absolute piece of shit who just reminds me of every overly religious kid from my high school who felt the need to tell everyone they're horrible if they don't believe in God. The band's drummer Jay is honestly the best character in this movie because he's just living his life not really caring about anything other than when he's having his next ciggy. Fucking feel that, brother! The bassist Roz is another highlight because she has a whole subplot where she actually enjoys playing sports and being athletic, but she keeps hiding it from everyone because she's scared Bradley is going to kick her out of the band when he finds out. Bradley is the absolute highlight of this movie and also the most accurate depiction of emos who are only emo to justify the fact that they're completely insane.
I'll have a hitman chop you up into so many pieces you look like the human version of Lego!
I'm so glad Rahat Adams finally got a good role he wasn't mostly wasted in, like that god-awful movie Liar Liar Vampire. I still love him as Sam from Nowhere Boys though. I'll move on from talking about the movie itself now because the soundtrack honestly fucking slaps. One of the first songs is literally about it being okay to give up because Jesus loves you, and that the deformity he gave to you is your security against sex out of wedlock. No, I'm not joking, that's an actual fucking lyric. There's a song about how Ethan doesn't want to have sex because it's too mainstream and considered physical exercise. A song about why we're all gonna die because we're destroying our bodies with junk food as well as the planet that's already destroying itself anyway. And my favorite song of the bunch is honestly the one about Trinity listing all the reasons Jesus would have been an emo in the middle of youth group, which leads to her getting excommunicated. There's a lot more in there that I didn't mention, but I will honestly say without an ounce of shame that this soundtrack and the movie are both fucking bangers. Shit, maybe my emo phase wasn't just a phase after all. I told you I was right. I'm gonna lock your 14-year-old edgy ass back in the closet if you don't stop showing up in my videos. And finally, let's delve into the reason you're all probably here, because it's time to talk about Spider-Man 3.
See you, chump.
I honestly love how Sam Raimi made this script all over the place purely as a fuck you to Sony for making him include Venom, because you can tell the man really didn't want him in this movie. Alright, well if you're so insistent on Venom, Peter will wear the black suit, and everything people say to him is going to take him one step closer to joining the fucking Black Parade. How's that sound? The opening narration is a nice change of pace from the other two, and also a great way to introduce Gwen Stacy. The visuals are honestly my favourite part of this movie, man. Like the scene where Harry is chasing Peter and Peter tries to catch the wedding ring mid-air is just peak Spider-Man. I know everyone loves the Sandman Awakens scene, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I will say that yes, it is an amazing scene that perfectly showcases how this movie could have been just as amazing if the studio actually let Sam do what he wanted. Then Marvel went and did it again with Multiverse of Madness. Like, come on guys! The man wrote one of the best horror trilogies of all time, just let him cook! I'm still hoping that there's a version of this movie in Sony's vault somewhere that has a Sandman as the only villain instead of him, Venom, and Harry that we might actually get to see someday, but honestly, that hope dwindles year by year. And on that note, I hate how Harry's storyline was executed. I love James Franco's insane performance, but the character arc doesn't make much narrative sense, man, let's be honest. I don't care how long we've known each other. You killed my father. I can't forgive you. Ayo, Harry! Turns out your father fucking killed himself, so it wasn't your best friend and you've been treating him like shit for no reason. I just randomly thought now would be the perfect time to tell you. Oh my god, I've been so blind. I'm not going to rip into this arc any further because almost everyone has done it at some point, but I had to mention it. Eddie Brock is the perfect definition of a preppy suck-up in this movie. The man genuinely asked God to kill someone for taking his job. Talk about being a fucking sociopath. Casting Topher Grace in this role was honestly a bold choice, especially considering Sony was so unsure about his appeal that they cancelled their plans for a spin-off starring him. You gotta feel bad for him after that, man. Because he honestly would have been a really good Eddie if he was in literally any other movie. Bully Maguire is honestly Sony's accidental magnum opus, because not only did it make half an entire generation obsessed with Panic at the Disco, but it also spawned one of the best memes to ever exist on the internet. You know this scene had a massive impact when people still can't hear Drive That Funky Soul without trying to do that stupid dance. The final battle is fucking iconic, and I'm not going to try and dispute anything about that. Like, come on, man. Giant Sandman beating the shit out of Spider-Man while Venom holds him down. That's fucking peak. And then Harry coming in to save him out of nowhere. Oh my god, give me more of that shit. I wish they didn't kill Harry in this movie, because if this movie did get another sequel, it would have been really cool to see Harry be his own villain in his own movie. That build-up would have been fucking amazing, but nope, Sony had to do what Sony does and fuck everything up like they usually do. And that's about it for today. I could honestly do a whole other video on TV shows that are so bad they're good, but I already know 13 Reasons Why would take the #1 spot. All you need to do is watch pretty much his commentary and you'll understand why.
The school shooter found love with his rapist sister.
This is the last time I'm going to be doing this outro because it's honestly starting to get really annoying to me. So for one last time, remember to like, subscribe, and lock your doors so a giant cat doesn't show up in your house, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
Cause I'm leaving you on silent. Yeah, remember what I said. Don't come to me when you get upset. I'm not in the mood to talk with you. Cause when I do, I don't like myself. I'm ignoring you day and night. I'm telling you now, so don't be